Yeah. Okay. How are ya? Woo! I'm Mel Robbins. Okay, I got to start over. I feel like let's hit the reset button. What do you think? Should we just all gigantic hit the reset button? Hit the reset button right now. I am Mel Robbins. Welcome to Stay Connected. Every single weekday, I am here doing this live broadcast, Stay Connected with Mel Robbins. If you are tuning in from the Pacific Standard Time, West Coast of the United States, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Hello, good morning. If you're here on the East Coast, it is lunchtime. I'm so thrilled you're having lunch with me. If you're in London, it's time for tea, 4 o'clock. If you're in India, it's 9:30 at night. And if you're in Australia, I hope, dear God, you are not watching this live because it is 3 o'clock in the morning. And that means that you are probably awake, having anxiety and stress dreams, which is not a good thing. So this is Stay Connected. It is March 30th. It is, in fact, Monday. I know every day feels like Monday. In fact, I feel like I'm living the movie Groundhog Day. Do you feel like you're living the movie Groundhog Day right now? Where every day is the same day over and over and over again. You in Saudi Arabia, New Jersey, Amsterdam, I see you. Is it Groundhog Day over there? Greece is 7 o'clock in the evening. Is it Groundhog Day over there? In Pennsylvania, is it Groundhog Day? Dear Lord, outside of Boston, Massachusetts, I am living and breathing Groundhog Day. Oh, and the Truman Show. Do you feel like you're being taped? I definitely feel like I am living in some weird episode of The Twilight Zone or Punk'd. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about fighting Groundhog Day syndrome. It is a real thing. If every day is bleeding into the next day and you often wonder, what the hell day is it? What time is it? Where the hell am I? Welcome to life. You know, I am Mel Robbins. I'm a best-selling author. You can see my books behind me. The 5-second rule is the one I'm best known for. It's been translated into 32 languages. And I'm also the author of 3 #1 audiobooks on Audible that are all about dealing with crisis, change, trauma, anxiety. If you think that you could be equipped to live through a moment in time such as this one, the body of work that I have created in the last 5 years and the number of people that I have helped change in terms of changing their life, facing trauma, facing crisis, finding courage, you would think that I would have this moment in time dialed in. That is not the case. Not the case at all. I am literally, I think I'm coming apart at the seams today. I'm just going to be perfectly frank with you about that. I went into self-isolation on March 12th. My family joined me in full by March 16th. So I am starting week 3 of isolation. And when it first started, I kind of felt naive and kind of like, oh, this is novel. This is kind of cool. We'll have virtual dinner parties and we'll have virtual mocktails and cocktails with our friends. And I'll use this time to be super productive and get in great shape. And I've started to see all these influencers now posting these little like get your hustle on. Last recession, Uber and Venmo and Pinterest were invented. So what are you going to invent? I'm like, are you shitting me? At this point, if I get out of bed and wash my face and blow dry my hair, it is a good day. I am winning if I actually get out of my pajamas. And none of us have ever gone through anything like this before. None of us have ever faced a pandemic like this. None of us have seen something hit the globe. And as much as I remind myself of the good things, that first of all of the smartest brains on the planet right now are working together to figure out how to beat this, how to come up with a vaccine. That's incredible. Another good thing, I realize that I am privileged. I am in a home. I have food to eat. I can pay my bills right now. I have my family here. I am healthy. I got it. When it comes to having to deal with this pandemic, I am literally, I got the odds stacked with me. And I do not forget that for a single second. And there are so many people that are fighting the COVID-19, that are working in hospitals, that are terrified about paying their bills. So I get it. But mentally, I am starting to feel myself unravel a little bit. Yesterday was Sunday. It felt like Monday because every day feels like Monday or Sunday or Saturday. I thought, okay, I've been really good for 2 weeks. I'm going to give myself a self-wellness day, and I'm going to just wake up. I'm going to sit in my sweats in front of the fire, and I'm going to read a book. It's going to be awesome. It wasn't awesome. It was fucking awful. And let me tell you why. This is not some long, lazy vacation. That's not what self-isolation is. This is also not going to be the most productive moment of your life. So stop listening to these influencers that are telling you that you got to make this the most productive. You got to hustle. You got to launch something. You got to do something. You can, but first you got to make sure that you do the basics, that you do the mindset shift and the time shift that is going to give you some stability right now. Because what happened to me yesterday on Sunday is, first of all, it was raining outside of Boston. I've never had seasonal depression. I think I have it right now. If it could just be sunny, for God's sakes. It was raining. Our daughter Kendall came downstairs, and she goes to school in Southern California, and she looked at my husband and said, I can deal with the seasons. I can deal with cold weather. I cannot deal with these gray days. And so what happened to me yesterday, I thought, okay, I'm going to sit in front of the fire. I'm going to read a book because I never have time to read enough books. And it's going to be an amazing, lazy, incredible day. Do you know what happened? I walked into the kitchen for, I think, my 11th meal of the day, because that's how I'm marking time. And I looked at the clock, and it was 2:13 in the afternoon. And I felt a level of despair and anguish that I have not felt in a long time. I thought 2:13, I thought it was at least 5:30 in the afternoon. How the hell am I going to fill these next 3 hours? How the hell am I going to do it without screaming at my husband and my 3 children? How am I going to do this without going crazy? And look, I get it. Like, we all need a lesson in being bored. We all need to be reminded of what it's like to just have idle time. But the days at this point, for me and our family, they are drifting into one another. And I look back on this past week, I don't even know what the hell day is it. It's March 30th. I look back on the week of March 23rd, which was the second week that our family went into isolation. I don't really remember any particular day. It feels like one big long day. So I want you in the comments to tell me, where are you watching from? And have you hit the Groundhog Day mental phenomenon yet? Have you hit that point where you thought, holy cow, like every single day is the exact same day? I'm getting so many thumbs up here. It's unreal. My fiance gets to go to work and I'm going bonkers. His days haven't changed at all. I got people saying, people who had silent traumas and chronic illnesses are probably have advantages. You're right. I've been reading all these articles, and people that have gone through chemotherapy and have had to self-isolate, people who have served in the military and been on submarine duty, lots of people have amazing advice that I'm going to give you that I'm putting to use in my own mind. And on top of this phenomenon of feeling like every day is the same day, we put up a tweet that was like, it's like Vegas around here. God knows what time it is. Any time of day you can pick up a drink and nobody cares. And unfortunately, what stays in this house, what happens in this house is staying in this house. And so the other thing that triggered me yesterday was that there was a press conference, and out of the back of my mind, I wasn't watching it, but I heard my husband reacting to something, and he was looking at his phone, and he's like, they're saying now we've got to not socially isolate. We shouldn't say social distance. We should say physical distance, because that's what it is. We have to keep physical distance from everybody, because the social isolation is slowly starting to kill me. I am a very social person, and not seeing other people sends me into this like really sad place. And so he said they're now announcing at the federal level here in the United States that the physical distancing measures are going to last until the end of April. And he said it out loud, and one of our kids was like, end of April? I thought you said another 2 weeks. And you could hear the despair in their voice. I'm like, sorry, bud, there is no clear end. And this benchmark is just going to keep moving. And so we got to be prepared to move along with it. And what alarmed me today, and what we're talking about today on Stay Connected with Mel Robbins, I'm so glad you're here. And I see you all. We're talking about the Groundhog Day mental phenomenon. I see all these responses. You know, this property investor says I'm drinking so much alcohol. That's not a good thing. You know, I don't want to make you wrong, because I was doing the same thing. It was literally like I had, I think, an average of, I don't know, 13 meals a day. This was my coping mechanism over the weekend. I ate every meal standing up. I was snacking like crazy and calling it a meal. I ended my day by face planting Ben and Jerry's, a pint of ice cream, and by having too many gin and tonics. Yep. It's just all starting to roll together, right? Susan said she's upset because she can't get to her hair appointment. I hear you. Like we could like, it's not that bad yet, but my son saw this and was like, oh, you're scaring me. I said, buddy, wait for 3 weeks and then you see how gray I really am. And this is only going to make it worse. So, you know, we see your comments on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram. And part of the reason why I wanted to do this live stream is so that you wouldn't think you were nuts. I wanted you to stay connected to me and to the common experience right now of anxiety and of uncertainty and of slowly losing your grip on the normal day-to-day routine that you were used to. And so, number one, first of all, if life feels like Groundhog Day, it's the same thing every single day. Number one, accept it. Accept that that is a phenomenon, and accept that this is something that you are susceptible to unless you do two very important things. Bill Murray in Groundhog Day has a very good quote for us to pay attention to right now. You want to know what it is? Anybody know what it is? Here it is. Anything different is good. Anything different is good. And there are two things that you need to focus on making different in this moment of time. You ready? Number one, you got to do a time shift. And number two, you got to do a mind shift. If you feel like every day is Groundhog Day, in order to stop your days from drifting into each other and becoming one giant blob, you need to do two shifts. You need to shift time and you need to shift your mind. And, you know, there's this concept that I want to talk to you about called executive functioning. And I first learned the term executive functioning. How many of you know what executive functioning is? I only learned this term because we have a son who was diagnosed with dyslexia and dysgraphia. And in the process of untangling his learning style, we also learned that he has some challenges with executive functioning. Executive functioning is the secretary that is in your brain. What does a secretary or an executive assistant do? They keep somebody organized. They remind you when your calls are coming. They keep you on task. And so every one of us has an administrative assistant in our brain that's called our executive functioning. And it is your mind telling you, oh, it's 12:15, it's time for lunch. Or, oh, Mel, you got to do a live stream. Maybe you should remind everybody in the family that they need to be quiet for a half an hour. Maybe you should get your earbuds charged. Maybe you should make sure that the computer's charged in. It's the ability for your brain to see what's coming and to direct you, right? And so a lot of us have challenges with executive functioning, the ability to direct ourselves. We know what to do, but we can't quite get ourselves organized. In times of stress, what's very interesting based on the research is that most of us feel not that our executive functioning snaps in and tells us what to do. We become an executive with dysfunction. It's executive dysfunction when you're stressed. So if you wonder why, normally you have a great morning routine. You jump out of bed, you get to the gym, you eat a healthy breakfast. But right now, coronavirus Groundhog Day right now, you wake up and you don't feel your mind go, oh, time to get up. You feel your mind go, you don't have to commute, so you could roll back and sleep another 45 minutes. You don't have to put your underwear and your pants on. The Zoom's only going to show you from your waist up. When your executive dysfunction in your mind starts to coach you in ways that aren't that great, that's when you got to snap out of it, because honestly, that's contributing to the Groundhog Day phenomenon. The other thing that's contributing to Groundhog Day phenomenon, by the way, is I think that we have all completely underestimated how our normal routine of leaving where you live and seeing other people, whether it's going to the gym or dropping kids off at school or commuting to an office or running to the grocery store or going to that dog park, being able to leave and go somewhere else and see other people, it breaks up time and it marks time in a way. And right now, none of us are leaving and we can't go anywhere. And so you are in the same place all day, which is also contributing to this executive dysfunction in your head where your days and hours and minutes are blending together. And so what's one to do? Well, let's talk about the two shifts you need to do. The first one is you've got to shift your relationship to time. Okay. This is super important because given the changes with the coronavirus, every day is going to feel like Groundhog Day unless you shift your relationship to time. How do you do that? Well, first things first, you've heard me say this since the beginning of Stay Connected with Mel Robbins. A lack of predictability makes you feel unsafe. A lack of a routine makes you feel like you're in Groundhog Day. And so we need to go back to the basics. I'm talking to myself. I know you think I'm talking to you. I'm actually giving myself a pep talk right now because I need to hear this. I blew off the routine this weekend and the wheels came off emotionally and mentally because I had nothing grounding and anchoring me. I was drifting like a boat that's unmoored, okay, off into rough seas. And I don't want you to do that. So let's go back to the basics. We have to have a routine right now. We have to. Every day fighting to stay grounded and fighting to be kind to yourself and fighting to have the emotional resilience, which is the ability to cope with this once in a lifetime, first of its kind experience that we're all having. None of us have done this before. And so you got to have a routine. You got to wake up. You got to get your ass out of bed and you have to get dressed. Now, another thing that I really want you to do, I want you, please, to exercise. I know it's the devil word, exercise. I'm going to say it again. Please just spend 10, 15, 20 minutes. Please move your body. Why am I saying that? I'm saying it not because I expect you to get six-pack abs right now. I've never had six-pack abs in my life. I'm never going to, okay? But the reason why I'm begging you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, move your body, please, is because emotion is stored in your body. If you don't put on some kind of video and jog in place for 15 minutes, I was exercising this morning with Shaun T. Hated every second of it. Shaun T, I love you, but I hated every second of this 25-minute T25 transformation video that I did. Hated it. But I felt a release. And so if you're feeling emotionally heavy, if you're feeling like you're starting to go to a dark place, if you're feeling a little bit of despair, which is what I was feeling this weekend, please move your body as part of your routine, because we want to get all that negative emotion that's stored in your body, get it the fuck out of your body. Okay. So wake up, get up, move your body. Now, here are 2 anchors I want you to drop in your day. And this is going to be really important for your routine. You ready? Pick a starting time where you're going to start your day, meaning you're going to start your Zoom calls, or you're going to start working on that project, or you're going to start your first class. Pick a start time. That's, boom, your first anchor. Why am I saying anchor? Because right now, when you feel like every day is Groundhog Day and that you are drifting from 1 hour to the next, one day to the next, we need to get that boat you're in anchored down in one place. And a start time to your day will do that. What's the other anchor that you need? You need an end point to your day. So you're going to pick a start time and an end time. When are you going to end? And then the final thing I want in your routine, and I'm going to sum this up, don't worry, is I need you to pick something fun you're going to do tonight. Are you going to watch an episode of, what's it called? Tiger King, which we've been watching. Our family over the weekend did a Harry Potter marathon. It gives you something to look forward to. Okay. And that is so important, because how do you navigate? You navigate based on a point on the horizon. That's how you do it. And so having an anchor, which is your start time, you're going to be dressed in normal clothes. Get out of the damn PJs, everybody. Get out of the yoga pants. Get out of the sweatpants. Get into clothes that you would go to work in, or that you would go out and meet a friend for coffee in. You would go do something in. That's your first anchor. The second anchor is your endpoint. And right now in the comments, please tell me something you're going to do tonight that's something you can look forward to, okay? I get it. Back when we first started self-isolation, wasn't it so novel? Ooh, I'm going to have a virtual dinner party. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. I'm going to have the other thing. We still have family dinner every night. It's absolutely amazing. It's something I look forward to every single day, is our family dinner at night. Tonight, we're going to watch the final episode of Tiger King. That's what I'm looking forward to. Okay. And so I want you to put down, what are you going to do tonight? That play video games with your husband. I love that, Jessica. Karaoke night at Hannah's house. That's fantastic. Petal has a manifest show. I don't even know what that means. Mel is going to dance while cooking. Life is going to do yoga and read a fantasy novel. The blonde librarian is watching The Voice. What'd you say, Mandy? Oh, for Yusuf, an online meeting with friends. He's over on YouTube. We're going to make a goal board for Angela. Christina's going to paint. One of our daughters just ordered some paints because she said that she realized that's one thing she'd like to do more of. We're going to do a family movie night. Excellent. Something to look forward to. So let me recap. In order to shift your relationship to time, if you feel like you're experiencing Groundhog Day while being quarantined because of this pandemic, you need to get back to your routine. The routine makes you feel sane. It makes you shift your relationship to time. You need to get up. You need to get on clothes. I'd like you to move, because we want you to move and get all of that emotion that's stored in your body out. And then drop an anchor. What's your start time for today? Drop a second anchor. What's your end time for today? And make sure you got something you're doing tonight that you have to look forward to. Awesome. Now let's talk about the second shift that you need to make, and that is the shift in your mind. How do you make a mindset shift? This is all about attitude. You ready? And I read a bunch of research written by people that have gone through chemotherapy and they had to be quarantined because of it. I looked at people that had served in the military and lived on submarines. How do you live in situations of solitude and isolation? So first of all, nothing is better for your attitude than a shot of gratitude. You got it? I know it sounds simple, but just reminding yourself that you're lucky to be alive. Seriously. If you look at any of the news that's breaking in New York City right now, you will be reminded you are lucky to be alive. There was news that broke this morning of a 54-year-old news reporter from CBS News that died. She worked in the same building that we taped the Mel Robbins show in. I feel lucky to be alive right now. When you tell yourself that you are lucky, that you're grateful, it creates a shift in your attitude that is so powerful. And it makes all of this boredom and isolation and despair that you feel about the fact that you may be stuck inside for another month or two, it makes it feel like way less of a big deal. Number two, you can use this time to work on managing your mindset. Your mindset may default in a certain place, but you can build the skill of shifting your mindset to default somewhere more optimistic and resilient. I know this. I've taught a 30-day program on this that's free. If you want to use this time right now to do some good for your mind, go to melrobbins.com/mindset reset and take the 30 days. It's all free videos. There's a workbook, and use this time to retrain your mind to not go there, to stop your mind from ruminating, from stopping it from being negative. And, one of the reasons why I am so transparent about my own struggles is because I want you to understand that it's not a one and done in life, particularly with your mind, that as you face new challenges in life, you're going to have waves of negativity. I was circling in despair yesterday, you guys. I was in my sweatpants. I was sad. It was only 2:13 and I still had to figure out how to get through the remaining 6 or 7 hours of the day before I could go to bed without being embarrassed or worried about myself. That's despair. And I'm somebody that teaches a class on how to change your mindset. And so these waves are going to come and they're going to go. And I want you to know you're going to have some down days and you're going to have some up days. And constantly working on being okay when you have a down day, feeling the feels, and then working to redirect your mind to gratitude, to positivity, to optimism. That is a skill that you will always come back to. And so there's also a ton of videos on our YouTube channel all about mindset, all about how to deal with anxiety, all about how to calm your mind, how to live successfully with depression. And so if you just go to our YouTube channel, if you're not watching it right now, you can hit the subscriber notification, tons of free videos, all kinds of resources. And here's the final thing that will help you with your mind to make a shift. If you're feeling despair, if you feel like it's Groundhog Day, you ready? Help someone who's not as lucky as you. Look, I'm not trying to be trite. I know that I'm in a really positive situation right now because I have a roof over my head. I can pay my bills. I have food in the refrigerator. And the only thing that is infecting me at the moment is my own negativity and my own negative thinking. And if you can't shake yourself out of a negative mindset, the fastest thing that will do it next to developing an attitude where you're grateful is helping somebody who's not as lucky as you right now, helping somebody who's sick, helping somebody who can't pay their bills, helping somebody who is really struggling with mental health issues, helping somebody who doesn't have a place to live, helping people that are not as lucky as you. Because if you have the time and the resources to watch this, you're lucky. It means you're healthy right now. It means you've got access to technology. And, this is a great question. What do you do if you always feel like you're not doing enough? What you should probably do is you should both find something to do that makes you feel like you're helping someone else. And you should go to work on how you beat yourself up, because that's just another form of trashing yourself, that you're not doing enough. I need everybody to understand something loud and clear. That was my, sorry about that. That was my dentist calling for some reason. You don't have to write a New York Times bestselling book right now. You don't have to launch a startup. You don't have to figure out the next chapter of your life. if simply getting out of bed and exercising for 10 minutes and putting on clothing that you're not embarrassed to wear or be seen in and showing up is what you're capable of doing, that's enough. You also need to have room to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. There are going to be days that you feel down. There are going to be days that you feel despair. There are going to be days that you feel, holy shit, how can I keep doing this? How long am I going to be doing this? And I want you to know better days are coming. And there are going to be days where you are going to wake up and you're going to realize you're going to be okay. And you're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And you're going to realize that you got yourself through this. And that's going to make you feel so proud of yourself. And it's important to not add stress by pressuring yourself to do more than you're capable of doing. That's why I want you to stick to the basics. And the basics are, if you feel like it's Groundhog Day, welcome to life, because everybody on the planet right now feels like one day runs into the other. I have no idea what time it is, what day it is. Is it April yet? Are we still in March? Is it February? Is it the weekend? Is it Friday? I don't know what the hell is going on. You can't be expected to have your normal routine because life isn't normal right now. You can't be expected to have your normal routine because you can't go outside right now. But what you can do is you can create a new normal. It's so important for you to understand that you didn't choose this, but you can choose how to go through it. And you need to create a new normal right now. And it's a huge wake-up call if you think you're in the movie Groundhog Day, because time is moving forward and it is possible for you to start marking time and changing your mindset about it. And so let me recap. If it feels like Groundhog Day, that is your red flag. You need to accept that you've gotten to this zone where days, hours, months, weeks, they've all blended together. So now you got to do something. Don't freak out, just do something. You got to do 2 shifts. You got to shift your relationship to time, and you've got to shift your mindset, okay? And you got to create a new normal. So let's shift your relationship to time. It's a new routine. That's it. That's it. Shift your relationship to your mindset. You got to start really actively practicing gratitude because you're really lucky. You're not sick and you're here and you're better off than a lot of people. And you should use this time to work on your mind, because if you work on your mind and you develop a resilience to cope and to know that you can rely on yourself, you will come through this a much stronger version of you. Now, I want to go back to the quote I shared. Bill Murray, Groundhog Day, anything different is good. So I have something different for you, which is really good. Are you ready? I got a super exciting announcement about Stay Connected with Mel Robbins. Starting tomorrow, we are bringing on guests and we are taking your questions. And so let me tell you a couple things about that. If you have a question, if you're facing an issue, if you are dying to get on this broadcast with me, or you have a question, here's how you're going to do it. Take a video on your phone, make it a minute or less so you can email it to us. Tell me your name, where you're from, and then ask your question. The more detail you can give me, the better. Try to keep it a minute or less, and you're going to email it. You ready for the address for where to email it to? You're going to email it to this email address, askmel@melrobbins.com. Send your video questions to askmel@melrobbins.com. By emailing us your video, you are giving me permission to air it on this broadcast and air it on social media. Ask your question. Tell me your name. If you want to tell me where you're from, great. Remember, a minute or less if possible, because you're only going to be able to email it to me, askmel@melrobbins.com. We also have best-selling author Kessler on tomorrow, and we are going to be talking about a really, really critical topic. And it's about how to deal with despair when you feel it. I felt it yesterday when I saw the long lines going into the grocery store where they were only allowing a certain number of people to even go in, and everybody was wearing masks. And I just felt myself start to cry behind the steering wheel of my car. We're going to talk to Dan Kessler about that. On Wednesday, we are kicking off a 30-day amazing something different every day to keep us united as one. It's not even a party. It's something we're going to start doing together. We're going to kick that off on Wednesday. I cannot wait for you to hear what it is. On Thursday, we have one of my favorite experts of all time, Dr. Ramanian, and we're going to talk about specifically anxiety and her amazing coping mechanisms. And on Friday, guess what? All those videos you're sending to askmel@melrobbins.com, we're going to do a whole broadcast answering your questions. And if we can sort out all the technology around this, we're going to start doing that way more often, because I know you have questions that are specific to your situation. And you know me, I not only want to stay connected to you, I want to do whatever I can to help you live and cope and thrive through this situation. I think that's it. Yes, I'm going to talk to Sean T. It would be fun to do a 5-minute workout live with him to show you that in 5 minutes flat, you can get that emotion out of your body by simply moving. Anyway, please do not miss Stay Connected with Mel Robbins. Please share this broadcast with your friends. The easiest way to share the broadcast is go to YouTube or go to Facebook. And I think that's it. In case nobody else tells you today, it's not Groundhog Day. It is Monday, March 30th. You got this. I got you. I love you. I believe in you. Together, we are going to get through this. And I will be here every single weekday sharing everything that I'm struggling with, everything that I'm learning, so that you know you're not alone, and so that you develop the resilience to meet this moment and move past it and be proud of yourself and be surprised by just how strong you are. All right. I love you. I'll see you later. And don't forget, send those videos. Ask me your questions. Ask Mel at melrobbins.com. See you later.